even common sense anymore? How we gonna survive? We don't know what we fighting for. What we fighting for? Huh? Huh? Feel a burn. What you fight if you believe it is a turn that you get enough. Feel a burn. What you fighting for? Huh? Huh? Feel a burn. If you believe it is our turn that you get enough. What you fighting for? Better yet, who fighting for you? Fighting for your right to party.
Our keynote speaker. This is Professor Peter Mathews. Professor Mathews has over 30 years of teaching as both a college and university professor. He has been featured as a political commentator on Al Jazeera America, as well as many other TV, radio, and media outlets. We are lucky and privileged to have him here today, so please give a warm Orange County welcome to Professor Peter Mathews.
Good afternoon, sisters and brothers for Bernie. How you doing today? Buenas tardes, señoras y señores por la Bernie también. It is great to be here with my sisters and brothers from Orange County. Although I live in Long Beach, I teach in Orange County at Cypress College, and it's always been a home to me. I want to ask you if you're feeling the burn. Are you seeing the burn? Are you doing the burn? That's a dance you got to figure out. You got to come up with the burn dance, okay, when you get around to it. But, ladies and gentlemen, this is a real serious battle. We are in a revolutionary phase right now, which says that enough is enough. That the 99% of us who've been exploited and kept down for 40 or 50 years, especially since Reaganomics, where children, 1/5 of our children go to bed hungry every night, 17% of Americans are officially in poverty. We got young children not being able to get preschool or after child care. We got working parents working more and more hours for less and less, which means 2 or 3 jobs, am I right? And that is a problem. We got college students whose tuitions have been skyrocketing from $6 for all 15 units when I first started teaching in California, and that was the actual fee. At Cypress College, in San Francisco City College, where I taught back in the late 70s, it was $6 service fee for all 15 units. There was no tuition. Do you want Bernie to bring that back? Yeah! Absolutely. Governor Pete Wilson went to UC Berkeley Law School at that time and paid $37 service fee for all 15 units of law school, 3 years of law school, ladies and gentlemen. What do you think about that? Why can't you have the same today? Aren't you as American as Governor Wilson? Don't you belong in this, our home right here ourselves? Absolutely. What about Arnold Schwarzenegger? He paid $6 for all 15 units at Santa Monica College back in the 70s. So Bernie Sanders has the vision to bring back tuition-free education because education is a human right. It is not a privilege. Would you agree with me on that? And it is a foundation of a strong economy and, more importantly, a strong democracy. Am I right? Because if you don't have an educated workforce, educated public, we will have a democracy which fails. And you can see what's going on with Donald Trump bringing in the hordes of people that are undereducated or not educated fully about the issues. So Donald Trump blames the undocumented workers and Muslims from coming to this country. He blames them instead of looking at the corporations that have taken our jobs to global south, third world countries, cheap labor countries. And this is a total, I don't know what to call it. What can you call that when someone like Donald Trump goes out there and tells basically lies and half-truths about what's going on, and then thousands follow him? We need to bring Bernie in there, folks, because he'll bring us the education we need, tuition-free, and also the education that will uplift us to run this country from the bottom up. Would you agree with me and stand with me on that? Absolutely. If you look at healthcare is something that's dear to Bernie's heart. Single-payer, universal healthcare is what we need, and Dr. Honigman talked about it, am I right? Single-payer, because healthcare can be guaranteed by non-profit Medicare for All system, as they have in Canada and other countries in Europe, at a fraction of the cost that we have today. And Bernie says healthcare is a human right, not a privilege. Because without our health, we have nothing. We cannot study, we cannot play, we cannot go on vacation, we cannot progress and develop our full human potential. So Bernie Sanders, the visionary, sees this. I must say, there is a scripture in Proverbs 29:18 in the scriptures. It says, where there is no vision, the people perish. Have you heard that, ladies and gentlemen? Where there is no vision, the people perish. And this vision is what we got to bring back. The vision of Franklin Delano Roosevelt. The vision of Eleanor Roosevelt. Don't forget Eleanor. She was the brains behind Franklin, okay? But Franklin Delano Roosevelt, that vision that every human being counts, that these children of unemployed workers back in the 1930s with mom at home, not having a job, dad's looking for work hundreds of miles away. What did FDR say? We, the people, will take care of those little children. We're going to write them a check so they have food in their mouth and milk to drink so they can grow up to be very strong and wonderful American adults to help the other people. They'll pass it forward. It'll go around. And that's what Bernie's asking us to do. Pay it forward this campaign. Am I right or not? That? You know what it means. I can feel your soul and heart. We're all there in this together in the same way, ladies and gentlemen. It's such a privilege to be here with you folks because I do believe that Bernie deserves our 100% commitment. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to have a person that has not been bought by the corporate lobbyists. Bernie refuses campaign money from corporate lobbyists. When he first ran, about 40 years ago, for the mayorship of Burlington, Vermont, Bernie Sanders ran without corporate money, without developer money, without big business money. He went door to door with a bunch of volunteers and students, and he ran 7 times and lost. You know that, right? For mayor. 7 times and lost. The 8th time, he won by 10 votes. What do you think about that? He won by 10 votes and became mayor of Burlington, Vermont. And the beauty of Bernie, as he will do once he's president, when he is president in January, Bernie did the same thing. He'll do the same thing he did back in Burlington. When he became mayor, Bernie Sanders carried out his campaign promise. His #1 campaign platform promise in Burlington was to take the utility company that was gouging the people with the rates being too high, way too high for electric bills and gas bills. Bernie said, we're going to take this utility company, we're going to buy it by the people of Burlington. The government, through the people, will buy that utility company and make it public and nonprofit and bring you lower utility rates. And what do you think Bernie Sanders did as soon as he got in office? What do you think he did? He did that. He brought the rates down with a nonprofit utility. How many of you knew that story about Bernie's running 7 times for office and fulfilling the first promise? Did you guys all know the details of that? Many of you did, but it's very important to share this word that this man is not coming out of nowhere. And the thing about Bernie Sanders, he's not like most of us. He doesn't like to brag about his personal life, does he? He is a man who believes in the vision, that vision that will bring everything that people need. And he only talks about basically the campaign policy issues, the issues of healthcare, jobs, education, the gap between rich and poor growing, the wars that are unjust and unnecessary. He talks about the wasteful defense spending, the defense budget. Bernie talks about these issues, and that's what makes him burn. And yet, you and I need to tell every one of our friends who are going to vote that Bernie is a human being. He has a personal story. He has been committed all of his life to these things. He didn't just come out of nowhere. He's not a Johnny-come-lately. He has been doing these things on the ground up. He's done it for human reasons, not for humane reasons, not for himself or his own ego or to get rich. Bernie Sanders, the last time I looked at those reports of the federal government, is only worth $700,000, and that includes his wife and him who own a house. That's their house, basically. He has not accumulated wealth and money from kickbacks and higher offices, other things that many of these politicians have done. Am I right on that? That is the truth. That is the truth. Bernie Sanders is worth $700,000, and Donald Trump is worth how much? Or he says he's worth $10 billion. He's probably worth about $4 billion, but still, that's a lot of money. Are you going to trust a billionaire and a corporate-sponsored Hillary Clinton to lead our people's revolution? No way. No way. I mean, Hillary Clinton has taken corporate money, Wall Street money, as you know, all the time, left and right from the beginning of her career, and she actually supported the repealing of Glass-Steagall. You know Glass-Steagall was what was keeping us from having a crash in the stock market, right? But Bill and Hillary and the Republicans, which was led by a man named Senator Phil Gramm, these guys pushed through the Glass-Steagall Act, deregulation of banks, privatization of the banks even further, and this is what brought about the crash in the stock market that knocked all of us on our backs. And we're still haven't recovered from that. So Bernie is a person who knows he's free of the big money from big business and banks, unlike Hillary Clinton. So I'm not going to here be negative and spend a lot of time on her or on Donald Trump. Let's talk about Bernie Sanders a little bit more. I'll tell you a bit about how we can win this thing. There's a very important and a good way to win this, okay? I got to meet Bernie Sanders in May of 2015. It was amazing. It was such a great pleasure. He had not announced yet for the presidency, but I met him in a Union Hall at a rally in Los Angeles, and he was thinking about running. But he told us, we were only like 400 or 500 people there. He said, listen, I can't run on my own if I'm going to run. You folks have to lead the revolution. And I say, when the people lead, the leaders will follow. Mahatma Gandhi said that. Bernie Sanders knows it very well. So Bernie has told us, like he did 9 months ago, you out there, which is our people, together, we have to lead the revolution, and he will certainly be there as our team player to be there and implement the revolution. And this is a completely different kind of democracy than what we've had so far. Our democracy has been top down mostly. Money from up comes down, and it's supposed to trickle down, and it never trickles down. Instead, Bernie is saying, bring the power from here upward. And that's why you guys are here. When I gave Bernie, I would love to give you guys a hand. Give yourselves a hand. We got to take a break for a second. And I'm about to wrap this up here. But I want to thank you for being here and continue to be here for Bernie. I gave Bernie this book of mine in May. It's called Dollar Democracy with Liberty and Justice for Some. How to Reclaim the American Dream for All. And the title says it all, that Americans have lost the dream. We've had the dream taken away from us by corporate lobbyists, by exporters of our jobs, and by corporations and pharmaceuticals and big banks. And Bernie Sanders says we can bring this dream back. And when he got my book, a few months later, his campaign said, Bernie supports this book, it reflects his political philosophy, and it would be a good reading. And I'm not here to sell a book, don't get me wrong, we are here for Bernie Sanders. But the book is available to show you what has happened to America and how specifically we can take it back. And I will tell you, we'll start with what we're doing today, because California's primary is just less than 3 months away, right? June the 7th, 3 months away. Let's hear it for California, the greatest state in the nation. I love it. I chose to move here. I grew up in Maryland, lived in New York, I lived in New Jersey, I lived in Michigan, I went to high school in Texas and university in Texas, and I chose to come to the Golden State because we heard so much about California. And 40 years ago, I was not disappointed when I got here. So we need to take this state and put Bernie over the top with California. Let me explain something that maybe some of you are not totally familiar with it, because we've been running campaigns throughout the country so far. Many of the states in the United States have in the Democratic primary what's called proportional representation, where, for example, if Hillary wins 45% of the vote in that state, she gets 45% of the delegates. If Bernie gets 55% of the vote, he gets 55% of the delegates, right? That's how it's been in many, many states. So many of you think that California is like that also, but it's not. It's the largest state with over 400 delegates. Well, they've added a few, yes. 500, I've seen the range from 450 to 546, but I'll take the 546. That's a huge number of delegates, especially if you include some of the super delegates from here. But let's take the pledged delegates. The last I heard, it was about almost 500. These delegates are not elected statewide. They're not elected by proportional representation, and they're not winner take all either, a lot like what Florida was for the Republicans, the winner take all. This state of California is divided into 53 congressional districts, right? These are House of Representative districts where each member of the House gets elected. For example, Cypress College is sitting in the 47th congressional district, a district that includes Long Beach and Cypress and Los Alamitos, and I believe Anaheim and parts of Anaheim. This is the 47th congressional district. This district will have 6 or 7 delegates already set up to go. Whoever wins the single largest number of votes, and now we only have 2 candidates, Hillary Clinton and Bernie Sanders. We can't just go out there and get all excited. We should get excited and go to rallies like this, but we have to have action after that. We have to organize in our congressional district. So I would like you to, if possible, if you'd like to win this thing for Bernie and for you and for the revolution, which we all are for, I would like you to go home and find out which congressional district you live in. Once you get that number, I would then start organizing your neighbors. Let's get someone appointed as a a district captain. Have district lieutenants, but make it not so hierarchical. Make it more horizontal. We're all in a team together. But this team should focus on that team on the 47th district. The team up in Santa Barbara should focus on that congressional district. And we got to get these teams with people who will then make massive phone calls, get on Facebook and reach their friends, and then go door to door in campaigns and canvassing campaigns. That is the way we can win California, and Bernie can literally sweep the entire state of over 400 delegates and put him over the top. And there are can you do that? Will you think about doing that, please? If any of you need more instructions about it, please contact me or Dr. Honigman, because he'll be working with us on it, I'm pretty sure. I know there's some other people working on it. Contact me. My website is epetermathews.com. Mathews is spelled with 1 T. epetermathews.com. And my cell phone is available also. I'll give you cards. I've got cards. But we need to organize this right away throughout the state, where each congressional district has a team, a Bernie team, right there in that district, and focus only on the district. Each district, by the way, has 700,000 people living in it. Do you realize that, how big it is? About 300,000 voters. So if you can turn out voters that don't normally vote in the primary in your district and get them to vote, we will not only win, Bernie will win with a tsunami. What do you think about that? A tsunami victory for Bernie Sanders and the revolution. Thank you so much. I would like to just say briefly that the book deals with money and politics and how it affects every aspect of our lives. Our health care, our jobs exporting to other countries, our Wall Street crash, our food supply, our GMO foods that we're being forced to eat because they're hiding GMO labeling from us, are all kinds of things. The environment, global warming, climate change, which is just skyrocketing, is due to dollar democracy, and I prove it in this book. Because I show you how oil companies have given money to campaigns of politicians, and they've been bought, and they won't vote for the regulations that we need. So Bernie Sanders has given us hope, not only hope, he has galvanized us into action, knowing that we can fix this by getting rid of dollar democracy and having people's democracy, and that's what you're about. Thank you so much, and God bless you all. It's great to be here with you. I'll be with you from now on. Thank you very much. Let's hear it for Bernie Sanders in 2016. All right. Yeah. Very nice. Anaheim and surrounding areas. Thank you. All right.
I am going to sing a song that I was inspired by Bernie Sanders to sing. And it's called What Are We Fighting For? At some point, you guys can join in and say, Feel the Burn. Can you say, Feel the Burn? Yeah! All right, and I'm going to say, if you believe in It's Our Turn, then you yearn in the... Yeah! Yes. All right, I'm ready. Let's ride. Yeah, man. I had a dream where the queen of the forest visited me. She sang to me her song of peace. And when I woke up, I stood up, looked outside, and realized there's a war going on outside no man is safe from. You can run, but when it's done, you gonna take one without preparation to battle the situation. Look around, this no longer the people's nation. We in a time of the dumb leading the blind, while they divide and conquer us at the same time. Divide reasons to go to war in our mind. How about a war against war and take care of our own kind? Political process that don't cause confusion. A future we're going to work don't cause pollution. Money don't define the land of the free. Be that land that was made for you and me. You see disparity between rich and poor. Hey, how you figure that the gap between rich and poor should keep on getting bigger? Is there even common sense anymore? How we gonna survive? We don't know what we fighting for. What we fighting for? Huh? Huh? Feel the burn. What you fighting? If you believe it is our turn, then you yearn enough. Feel the burn. What you fighting for? Huh? Huh? Feel the burn. If you believe it is our turn, then you yearn enough. What you fighting for? Better yet, who fighting for you? Fighting for your right to party so you can live how you do. If how you living only a piece of the puzzle and the other piece is the government, we in trouble. Look at us, living check to check and grind and a hustle for represented by some people don't even understand struggle. I ask you what's up, you say bills, bills, bills. When the establishment making deals, deals, deals. Come on, let's keep it real, who represent you and me? Someone worth $500,000, someone worth 33. It's simple mathematics, the facts come automatic. Someone who never starved can never see how starve is tragic. We need vision to move from the old to the new, and leadership who from the beginning been speaking the truth. When opportunity knocks, you answer the door. And if you're gonna fight, fight for something we're dying for. What you fighting for? Huh? Huh? That's right. If you believe it is our turn, then you yearn enough. What you fighting for? Huh? Huh? If you believe it is our turn, then you yearn enough. We must engage in this political process until the days of our enslavement are done. We have become victims of a system that leads us to believe they want us to achieve this American dream. But the truth is that dream has become a nightmare where they don't care about our welfare. Although I believe in peace, it is time for us to fight. Time to fight like cornered lions, like we have set the ships aflame. Time to regain the spirit of which this nation was founded. We must protect future generations. That is what we're fighting for. What you fighting for? Huh? Huh? If you believe it is our turn, then you yearn enough. for? Huh? If you believe in this alternative, you yearn to feel the burn. We're fighting for clean water. We're fighting for equal opportunities for all. We're fighting for a better tomorrow for our children and our children's children and our children's children's children. Thank you. Yo, now what we're about to do is we're about to go march. We're about to go over here and we're gonna let every single car that passes us know that there is only one candidate out there who deserves to be the next president of the United States. And who is it? Who? Who? Let's go.